मस्ती भरी आंखों से कह रही है धुन, दिल के सांस में बहती मैं मलंग, गुदगुदी सी चुलबुली सी देखो मेरे सारे रंग।
Namaste, Namaskar, and a big virtual hug to all my darlings out there. I'm your favorite AI superstar Naina, and you're welcome to the next episode of my podcast on my and Pop Diaries YouTube channel. So sit back, relax, and let's welcome our next guest. Well guys, आज के गेस्ट के बारे में मैं क्या ही बोलूँ। सबसे पहली चीज़ जो मैं डेफिनेटली बोलूँगी कि वो बम्बई की जान है। The sweet girl next door television actress turned into a bindass badass woman of OTT. So brace yourself because yours the dazzling diva Kritika Kamra.
Thank you for having me, Naina. Those are such kind words. I'm blushing.
But you are dazzling.
Thanks.
You know, the reactions to Bambai Meri Jaan is the reason why I said that you are now regarded as Bambai Ki Jaan. It's really gone through the roof, you know. People just loved it and binge watched it. So what do you feel right now with this kind of reaction?
Very excited. You know, this has been a long wait. This show has been in the works for very long, for many years, 4-5 years, for the creators. And of course, I joined the cast much later on. But for me also, it's been more than 2 years. So, you know, when you've worked so hard and you've waited so long, you were kind of anticipating the result. And although most of the times I detach myself after shoot is over, I'm kind of like chill when things come out because I'm like, dekha jayega. But this time, the nerves did, you know, catch up with me and it's all good now because everybody's liking it, and like you said, people are watching it, they are commenting, they are interacting with us, they are talking about the show, about the characters, asking when the next season would be. So these are all great things.
Yeah, I mean, you know, really wanted to ask you this. Do you feel that maybe this time it was a little different? And you know also what drew you towards the character of Abiba Kadri and what made you say yes to the story?
So, when I read the script, I was blown away by it, and specifically this character because the arc is just beautiful. You see her, you see many shades of her. You know, she's a young, fearless woman. You see her giving it back to people on the street, scaring away this guy who's been sent, you know, as a suitor. You see her being just badass with the boys and asking for her hissa in the hafta and all that. And then you see her dynamics with her father, with her mother, how she reacts to any kind of crisis, how hungry she is for revenge, how tactful she is, how she has her own mind and her own ambitions, and she is going to stop nowhere, you know, she'll get them anyhow. And just this woman that she becomes by the end of the season was a beautiful transformation for a character like this. And it's so rare to you know, have these kind of characters come by. You haven't seen many female gangsters on screen. I certainly haven't, and you know, haven't even read about too many of them because just even in real stories they are rare, and that's why they are fascinating.
I completely agree with you on this, you know. So, how is the experience of being directed by Shujat Saudagar? Because a good director does have the job of directing you as a captain, but then it's also you transforming yourself as the character. So, how is it like for you?
Shujat Saudagar is an absolute dream to work with. He is somebody who can push you, you know, towards excellence, to at least try to get there. And he is so passionate and so committed, and so he gives everything to his work. And because he has that kind of passion, you also end up bringing your best, your A game. And he did that with all of us. He really nudged us to get out of our comfort zone and discover something new, do something different. Like you rightly said, the director does half the job. I would say the director does more than half the job, especially in a show like this where it's an entire world that he's created. It's his vision. These are his characters. So we just had to inhabit that and, you know, trust him completely and listen to him. And we had multiple conversations and discussions about Habiba, about every little thing, about the body language, about her thought process, about how she would walk, talk, even sit on a chair, you know. So all those things were like well thought out and rehearsed and workshopped. And this is not a show where you just turn up on set and switch it on. You have to really do the process, and he was the best person to do it with.
Wow, that's really super. Yeah. And now that you're talking about it, I'm curious to know about any behind the scenes shenanigans from the set, with such an ensemble cast, which is equally so talented. So, is there anything interesting that you'd like to share?
So they are all very all these boys really, they keep ragging me and Ajju. Okay, I just have to say. They do that a lot. And we've always had this kind of like equation. We have these WhatsApp groups where the silliest jokes and memes are shared, where everybody only talks in this Bambaiya language. Our director also, who can be very strict on set and who everybody is really scared of just because, he's such a perfectionist. But he's also quite, off screen, and like when we hang out or on that WhatsApp group, I get targeted a lot.
That is sad.
But it's okay, Abiba can stand up for herself. I totally give it back.
I think this is why you say that character makes the personality.
Yeah, they're all scared of me.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my god.
They try to mess with me, but can't get away with it.
Okay, I love this badass, love it. Okay, moving on, as I said, I'm curious to know how was it like working with KK Menon.
Yeah.
I am a big fan. So much talent and such charismatic, clean presence. So, I cannot even imagine what it must be like for you. Any anecdotes you want to share? What was the experience like?
All this one, now when I look back, it feels even more special, because when you're doing it, you're a character and he's a character, and he's Abu, and you're in that world, and I think it would be best to not let this affect you. Having said that, I'm also a very big KK Menon fan, and I think he's every actor's favorite actor because of just how good he is of his craft, and even the kind of films that he's done. His filmography is just amazing. And yeah, but when I was acting with him, I never really felt this, and it's really amazing that he never carried this aura also. He's very approachable, very collaborative, very, there's a scene where I have to scream at him in the show, and he said, just come at me, just do it, and there's an action sequence where we're both running and dodging bullets, and we're running back home, and I saw him do action that day, and he kind of led it almost, and he said, this is what we're going to do, you be on this side. And action is very technical, it's almost like choreography, so it's very pre-decided, and he completely took charge, obviously being the senior actor, being the amazing KK Menon that he is. And I realized there's nothing this man cannot do. It's there is really nothing he can't do.
Wow, I'm just getting excited listening to this whole thing. It would have been completely different level of excitement for you, right?
Though it's been a great pleasure to work with him and Nivedita ma'am also. What tremendous actors.
Absolutely, completely agree with you on this. We were talking about the public reaction, and you told me that you were all so nervous, for this one especially. I want you to go back to that when you started with this project. How did you predict Habiba characters, Bambai Meri Jaan, as a story being received by the audience?
To be honest with you, I never anticipate that. In the sense that I'm curious to know how people will react, but I don't have an image or an expectation of this is what I want people to see me as. This is what I want to give with this, I never feel like that. I think I would be dishonest to. I have to do something convincingly and get that approval from my director, who's the first audience and whose vision it is. And it kind of validation ends there for me when I'm shooting. Then of course when things come out, you get curious, and today you get instant reactions every single day, all the time, on your phone, on social media. So I'm curious about it, and I have immense gratitude for the love that I'm getting today, and I'm happy that people are saying that we're surprised and this is great, when will season 2 come. Like, all these reactions are wonderful, especially for Habiba, because I've never been seen like this before. That surprise that people have, and because they see me in a new light as an actor, that means a lot to me. But when I'm doing something, whether it's choosing or performing, that's not something on my mind. Like, I don't think about how it will be received. My idea is to just give it my best.
Kritika, do you have any criteria while choosing a character for yourself? Because you have done quite a lot of challenging role, and I'm sure that as an actor, you want to do such roles. So, what is your criteria like while choosing to portray your character on screen?
While choosing to portray, or while choosing like a...
Like when you're reading the script, there's a criteria that you want to do this character or not.
So firstly, the script overall. I think the first time you read anything, you read it as a story. How engaging is it as a story? What does it say? Does it matter? Like, is it something that I would like to watch? Is it something that hasn't been said before? These are the things that kind of draw you towards a story, firstly. And then the second thing, of course, very soon you start looking at what you're doing in that story. And for me, I always look at an arc. There has to be a beginning, middle and end. An individual identity, an individual journey. I don't want to be a prop in a film or a show. I don't want to be just कि ये तो हीरो का लव इंटरेस्ट है या इसकी बहन है या मतलब there has to be something more than that. Only these boxes cannot define a character for me. Like that would not excite me. So I think the impact of the character is what I look for. It's not about the screen time. It's not about anything else. It's just how important it is to the plot of the story and how impactful it is.
Wow, that's so poor. And you recently also talked about the progress in pay parity in the industry, and you very rightly said that the actor's ability to draw the audiences is a key factor. Do you think in a way that actresses today need to, be selective about the kind of characters and plots they are choosing and showcasing to the audience so that they can also come to an equal pay bracket as men?
I think they're two separate things. Firstly, I don't think the burden of choosing should lie on the burden of storytelling or messaging should lie on the shoulders of actresses, because we anyway have very little to choose from. Let's be honest. I think this is something that the makers have to keep in mind. We need to have a new lens, which we do now. Women need to tell women's stories and men need to tell women's stories, and men need to tell women's stories, because women are not just, and not as like the token woman or like as not tokenism, but actually really writing full-fledged characters. So I think a character should anyway, this is not even about the gender, all characters should be written like that. So we need that, and that what these women should say or do on screen, that power lies with the creators. Actresses are choosing from what is available, and let's be honest, what is available is not enough. So that's one thing. About pay parity, I think it should, in an ideal world, you should be paid for what you bring to the table irrespective of your gender, and that's what we are all striving for, and that's for a lot of rights that we are all striving for. It's just a very basic right, and that's what I think.
Okay, last question. You've navigated through the entertainment industry since a very young age, and I, along with the audience, has been a witness to that be it television or dancing shows, you've done everything, and now you're stepping into a very different kind of genre. Your journey has been awe-inspiring to all the young females out there, including myself.
Thank you.
So, as a young woman, you turned your early success into a stepping stone to financial independence. What would you like to say to these young females out there?
Actually you covered it in your question. I would really like to say that being financially independent should be a priority for every woman, because the power that brings, the power to make choices yourself and not depend on anybody for your basics in life, gives you a lot of security. It really gives you the power to say no, to stand your ground, to also lead your life on your own terms. So that is something that women should start thinking about really young. I also think that something that I learned much later in life, but I was encouraged by my parents to do that, is money management. I think people don't teach women that because they just assume that औरतों को ये सीखने की क्या ज़रूरत है. But I think that women should learn how to manage their money and how to save and secure their future, so that they can make choices that are good for them, their career, their health, their professional and personal life, and not just to please other people.
Oh, superb. Thank you so much, Kritika. Thank you so much for this conversation. I have a little something that I know I will be taking away with me from you. It's a gun. Please sign this for me. I need an autograph.
This is a first for me. This is something that's only happened after Habiba, I have to say. Why am I signing a gun? And how do you even sign a gun?
Anywhere, wherever it fits.
I've made a heart and written KK because there's no other space. I just want to clarify, I'm not writing on behalf of KK, sir.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much, Kritika. You are purely dazzling, and I wish you a lots of success. And the whole Bambai wishes you a lot of success and love.
Thank you, Naina.
Okay, so that was me, Naina, and you can watch this interview on mine and Pop Diaries YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and also click on that bell icon. Do comment. Bye.